Let's understand everything about the get details of element on web page in Microsoft Power Automate Desktop. We're at Amazon.com today, a great example page. Let's do a search, and please do this exercise with me, you will learn so much faster. In the drop down here, I hit electronics, and let's first search for the Samsung S24 and hit enter. Here we have the search result, and first I want to extract the title of the first pick here. So I go back to Power Automate Desktop, and then I find a launch new. I prefer Edge, but you can use Chrome and Firefox. The approach will be exactly the same. I will not launch a new instance today, but instead tie it to a running instance because I already opened that, and this is for learning. Then in the tab title, hit the drop down, wait 2 seconds, then you will see the Amazon.com Samsung S24. We save the information about this browser window in a browser instance variable called browser. We can later refer to that when we want to automate in this window. I hit save. Let's also find why we're here, the get details of element on web page, and drag it in. Here you can see we refer to the browser window. We also want to create a UI element. That is, we want to point Power Automate Desktop to where we want to do something. In here, we want to extract something, but this could be clicking or filling in text as we do. So a UI element is simply just an element that we can interact with on the web page. Hit the drop down, say add UI element. And here you can see I can find this. I can also find other elements. And if I'm here, if I move the mouse to the right, left, you can see I can both find a span and a heading too. I think I will just go with the span. So I press Control on my keyboard, press with left click with the mouse, and we create a UI element. We take the text out of this element. We'll get back to what this means. And then, since this is the product title, let's give the variable it produces that name. It will make it a lot easier when we're working with multiple variables and values. Hit save. Now I think we should test it. We will click run, and the flow runs. And if I go back here, you can see I extracted, if I double click, Galaxy S24 cell phone, and that is exactly what we have here, the 256 AI smartphone. Now let's understand a little bit about how Power Automate Desktop found that, because we will use that knowledge when working with the get details of element on web page. So I go back to Power Automate Desktop, and then I hit the UI elements up here in the right corner. And here you can find a UI element. We also see that we have a web page, and this have a really weird name. We can right click that, say rename, and probably just say web page Amazon. Then it's a little bit more easy to see what's going on. Always rename your stuff well, so it's easy to maintain. In here you can see the span Galaxy S24. This is also a name. We can talk a little bit about if we should rename that a little bit later. But try to double click it. That will open up the selector of that element. A selector is an address to the UI element that you want to interact with. And this is the address. It's divided into a hierarchy. You can see these greater than. These are the dividers of the hierarchy. The parent, or the great parent, is this element here, div with an ID equals something like this. And the child element, that is the last element, that is this. The span element with the text equal to Galaxy S24. So to use a selector, this is Power Automate that says, if I need to interact with an element, I need to find a div element with the ID attribute that got a kid or a child that names with a div element, div, span, div, so it has a lot of ancestors before it arrived to the span. So let me show you how it finds that in the code, because you will need that knowledge when working with the get details of element on web page. Let me move it up here and let us just open the browser. Again, you can inspect the code behind the web page by using the developer tools. You can either press F12 or simply just right click where you want to inspect, hit inspect, and that will open up their inspector. You can see that it turns blue here, and here's actually the span. And the span here where it turns blue, that is this span up here. Let me open it again. You can also see that it got an H2 parent, and that is this H2 parent. It also have an A grandparent, which is this, and we can find the diff, and we can go all the way back in the code. This is how Power Automate Desktop finds the element. We can see, and this was actually the heading 2 that we could toggle between either heading 2 or span before. This text here, it says, find the span and give us the, find the span where the text is Galaxy S24. So if I go down here, I can expand it and you will see the text here. So when it's going to extract the text of the element, it's also using the text in the selector where it finds that element. Not really clever, because what we're doing here is, let's say that we just want the first element. Let's say that the Galaxy S24 cell phone is not the first element anymore, or saying that this product manager here that runs this store for this phone changed a little bit in the title, then this address would not work. Power Automate Desktop would fail. And let's try to go up the tree. We can see the H2A. We also have a few diff, span, diff. And if I scroll all the way up, I can go up here to this diff. This is actually this diff you see here. And we can go into this diff. You can see the diff starts here. And what we will do here is to inspect this element. You can see here we have the diff, and then we have some attributes. So the purple ones, this is the element. Then the orange ones, these are attributes. For example, we have a role attribute with an attribute value called list item. If I move over to the ID, we can see the ID called 1BA3989D and so forth. This is this ID up here. So it says, look for a diff with this ID. I can collapse this hierarchy. So if I just do this, you can see I have different list items below. So each of these list items, that is one, and you can see they have unique IDs. I want to build a selector where we don't use these ID, because I just want to extract the first item, and then if it's not this ID over here anymore, then it would fail. So we want to get rid of the text and the ID here. First of all, I can hit test. That I can usually just test my selectors. We know that this works. I'll just show you. Choose your browser tab and hit OK. And you can see it highlights red over to the right, and it gives us a green check mark saying that this is a good selector, that is unique. Power Automate Desktop will not get confused. Now let's work a bit. So what I want to do here is to go down the tree. Here you will find all the elements. For example, the parent is always the first one ticked. You can see it's highlighted here. Here we can find the ID equals to 1BA. And if I scroll all the way down to this span, here we have the span text equal to this. I want to keep the span. I could toggle it on and off here, but I want to keep it and then just remove, saying that I want to look for a span, but I don't care what text it got. So I got rid of this. I can still test it. And it still find the first element saying that this is a good selector. It turns green. And that is because this unique ID is still there. But we agreed that this was not a great way to identify an element. So if I scroll a little bit up, all the way up here, I can find the ID. And let us bring back the page. Because here we have the ID 1BA. I can also see I can enable another attribute called the class equal to sgcall, and we can actually see that that is here, class equal sgcall 4 or 14, blah blah blah. And we can see that the next items got the same class below here with the same attribute. So the same attribute and the same attribute value. What I want here is to get rid of this ID in the diff like this. And now if I try to test it, then it will say that, well, it worked, but there are multiple of these that it fits in. That makes sense because we have all these structured data and similar below here. So it will say, well, I found it, but we have multiple items. When Power Automate Desktop have multiple of the same items that could fit in the selector, it will always pick the first. That works well if we need to pick the first one. And let me just show you here. I can test it. It still finds it first, but then it's turned yellow. And if I click it here, you can see that we have multiple UI elements that it found. Not the best thing, but if we want to find it first, it's good. So if you want to find it first, you don't need to specify it. But we could say, go down and find this hierarchy with a span child. And we could say here, if we go down to the last one, we can say, pick an ordinal. So I can say, enable the ordinal. Ordinal means that it will find the first, the second, whatever we specify UI element. Here we pick the first. This is actually the same as before, but now we explicitly say pick the first. I can hit test again. And if I do this, you will see it still find the first. And since we've been very specific, it gives us a green check mark. It will only find this. For example, let's just pick the second element here. Since this is 0 indexed, that is the first element got index 0. I can change this to 1. That will find the second element. Let's just show you that we can do that. Here you have it. We have the second element. It finds that. So really nice. That is what we need to understand about selectors, making them unique. It's actually quite funny to sit and play with them. And if I hit save, and when I run it, and then I want to see that it's not finding the Galaxy S24 cell phone, but it finds the Galaxy S24 FE AI phone. That's what we want here. And if you want more of this, please give this video a thumbs up. That will really help me and my channel. Thank you. Now we go back to Power Automate Desktop. Exactly what it finds over here in product title, Galaxy S24 FE AI phone. I can double click it and we have it here. Really nice. I might also want to extract the link. So we're still here in the second, or for example, the first. I want to extract the link behind it. And here we need to inspect it again. And let me just make this a little bit smaller. So I can again, if I wanted, I could right click and then inspect. I can also hit this, select an element over here. And then you can see I can move my mouse again. I just want to inspect this. So I click it and we're back as we were before with this span and the text. So now I need to find the URL, and that's where your selector knowledge comes into play. You need to look at the code here. And here we can actually see it. We have, if I go with this span, the parent called h2, the great parent called a. Here we have an href attribute with a URL, which is exactly what we want. So now I don't want to locate the span. I want to locate this a up here. And then say, look in the href attribute. So let's go do that. Get rid of the h2 and the span and just search for the a. And I want to tell you that if we just extracted the text using this a, it will probably still find the same unless there's some other text hidden in here. There's not, so it will still find the same, and we can try that. So go to the UI elements, double click over here. And we agreed that we got rid of the h2 and the span. So here I get rid of the span and the h2. We're in the a, which is also called anchor in selector language. Again, this will find the first one here. So if I test it, you will see that it finds the first one. And again, you know how to solve this. We just need to go down to this a, saying ordinal equal to 1 if it was the second element that we want to find. Now you see it finds it, and we got a nice green check mark over here. Let's just see that this actually works with extracting the text. So there are multiple ways of coming to the same answer. This one will extract this Galaxy S24 FE AI phone. You can see it over here. And that is because it just takes all text in this A element. Since these are children, it also check this, so it will be the same thing in this case. But imagine that we have some text up in the A or the H2. Then we would now extract this text as well as this text compared to before. So now we're up here. We don't want to look for the text anymore. We want to look for an href attribute. We can go into the get details of element on web page, and then in the attribute name, I can either hit the drop down, choose the href. They are a little bit weird capitalized, or I can simply just write it here. I can say href, and it also do the same. So the two things that you want to learn about here, that is extracting text and how to extract an attribute. The href is simply just an attribute. I could fine have asked it to, instead of the href attribute, I could say extract the class attribute, which would be a link normal s-line clamp. So now it's the href, and then let's just change title since this is a URL. Let's change title to URL. So again, a meaningful name. I can hit save. And this is again the second element, just so it's the FEAI phone. When I try to run it again, I can go back here. I can go to the product URL. You can now see we have a nice URL. I can go up here, Control A, just to copy and check the link, Control A, Control C, open a new tab. And here I want to see that we open this S24 phone. I can hit enter. There you go. That's how easy it is. And if I wanted to show you that I could also extract other attributes, then we could just change href to the class, then it will extract this a link normal s-line clamp. So let us close this, open the get details of element again, and say, let's give us the class attribute value. Can hit save, click run. And you might sometimes want to do that when you get a little bit more advanced. And here you can see we have the a link normal s-line clamp, which was exactly what we expected. Hit close, and let's go back to the get details of element on web page and say I want the href. If I want to make this dynamic, I just want to show you that this also worked because we made the selector so great that it also worked on other products. First, let's go to UI elements. Let's rename this. So this is just the name of the UI element. You can see it's used over here. So if I right click, I can say rename, and let's just call this span product title or the product text or whatever we want. Then it's also updating over here. Now I want a different product page. So I go back here and then I can search for example, the iPhone 16. Show that it also can extract the Apple iPhone 13. And this is not an error here. This is just the Amazon search that when I search for iPhone 16, some other things comes up. So now I want to extract the second item here, which is probably this. Sometimes, because now we look for the list item, I can check it. Then there might be some sponsored ones, something that it filters. So if I want to check that, I can go in here, test it just to see that what is the second element on this page. This was actually this. So far so good. I can hit save. Then I go to launch new Microsoft Edge, hit the drop down, wait a bit, and take the iPhone 16. In the real world, you'll probably have it navigating. So it first search for iPhone, then search for Samsung automatically in Power Automate Desktop. Then I can hit run. Now we pick the href, that is the URL. I can go out to the product URL. Again, I can Control A, Control C, go to a new tab, paste it in, and that was this second element. So the important knowledge of the get details of element on web page, that is, we work with the own text, and you need to understand selectors. That is, so we can always extract the attribute that we want. Now you should learn more about these selectors because these are so important if you want to grow as a Microsoft Power Automate desktop developer. I created a full video guide to selectors and UI elements here. It's step by step and very easy to follow.